the heavy flamer.
Folks, welcome one and all to the Mechpit chat for this week of July 14th, 2025. I am Ironcaster here to get you going for the week. Because look, the weekend has come and gone, and you have the whole rest of this week to look ahead to. But there's no reason to say why you can't enjoy yourself in the meantime. Uh, I am Ironcaster here to settle us in as we start this week. So, folks, how are we doing out there? As I slowly get things set up. Apologies, life happens. That's the way these things go. Vince, sir, thank you once, thank you always for dropping all those links and helping me out on the chat side there. It is a big blessing to have you out there. But oh, there we go. Sorry, I have far too much open sometimes. It's you click on the wrong tab before you know it, you wind up listening to yourself talking. You're like, oh no, I don't want to do that. So that said, hey Pat, welcome. It was a nice, kind of quiet little weekend. Things seem to be going pretty well. I get to sit here and kind of complain like, oh my water softener's acting up. I got a broken window. There's all kinds of things going on. But you know what I did see this weekend? Superman. It's kind of the impossible one to go and avoid. It it's the big soaring question of the movie of the week. And ultimately, the question that lies there within is, how was it? Did it do well? Etc. And, it's ultimately going to be a movie that's going to be so scrutinized, so talked about infinitely, that it becomes almost troublesome to really talk about because people have in a lot of ways have already made the rounds before the movie has even hit theaters. So there becomes challenges to in order to even talk about it, right? You've got so many camps that have come out here and talked about it that have, or decided one way or another. Like you have the people who are big in the pockets of James Gunn that will absolutely love and adore it, and anything he did, they'll say, you know, he could do no wrong. It was worth it. He did those Guardians movies. Of course, you also have the Snyder cult who are out here saying, Zack Snyder got screwed over and that they should, turn and bow down to him. Of course, you also have your comic book fans that are going to say, no matter what, they didn't do this or that right. And a little bit of that myself, admittedly. Even though I was never the, oops, I'm dropping things. Even though I was never the hugest of DC fans, I was always a bit of a Marvel guy. So I'm coming up. I came to it from a different perspective, right? Superman is ultimately the story of someone who's kind of come to America and becomes the biggest and best that they can. It's the American dream. And I guess the ultimate question is, does the movie do a good job of telling that? In a lot of ways, it kind of does. David Corn Sweat, I think he's fine. I think he's a pretty decent Superman, all things considered. Uh, he's actually really not that bad in the role. Like he's no Henry Cavill, and sadly, that's not. We're not going to get another. We probably won't get Henry Cavill back in the role ever again. Such is the way of things. He was the best Superman for an unfortunate time in which the studio didn't want to make Superman, which which goes to show you like how badly people wanted Superman. So much so they're willing to put up with so much crap from studio interference, from an egotistical, director For he just Batman maybe, but not Superman. But that is the Man of Steel. That is the Man of Murder. Whereas this has a lot of the elements that feel right for a Superman movie. There's a bit of hope. I just wish it was more. I just in a lot of ways, I wish it was more of a Superman movie and less of a, you know, all of DC's, you know, a lot of. I wish it was less about all the other DC heroes and less about kind of fleshing out the world. There was things I really liked in it. I liked a lot of this. I liked a lot of the Golden Age, the classic Golden Silver Age stuff in the movie. I liked seeing, the Fortress of Solitude, seeing the Superman robots. There's a lot of fun stuff there, right? And it was great to see. But at the same time, at the same time, there's little changes along the way that irk me. Like I didn't think I'd be complaining about, you know, well, we got the wrong species of dog, and Crypto's a little more annoying than I would have liked. AK, I appreciate that so much. I really, I wanted to like it more, but then there's little things along the way. Like I didn't like the fact that Lex Luthor cried. Guy Gardner was fantastic, even though I do think Nathan Fillion's a little old. I thought that Pa Kent wasn't probably the actor I would have chosen, but he did have some good wisdom to him, and so I'm willing to work with that. I feel like I've spent more time thinking about the stuff I don't like with the movie than the stuff I do because, well, it's easier to notice the rock in your shoe that kind of got you the wrong way. See, from the trailer, it looked like Superman is not stoic enough for me. That's probably not a bad thing to consider there. But at the same time, he's also got a little bit of that gosh by golly a sense of Clark. The guy who you don't think would swear. Like the worst you get him to say is heck. But you kind of like it about him. And at the end of the day, he's doesn't that kind of make him punk rock? A lot of plot stuff felt contrived. Like, oh yeah, uh, was it Mister not Mister T, Mister Terrific. He shows up. He's going to help out, but then for plot reasons, I'm going to stay back. Don't worry. Take my ship and go. Just because we ultimately we need to write him out of the next scene because he would have solved our problems and yeah, but that's also nitpicking. It's it's a movie we're gonna have a lot of time to break apart, but at the end of the day, I think it was a movie that's a good start. I think they could do better next time around, especially once they get a lot more of the extra DC stuff out of the way. Once we start getting some of those other characters, we won't have to, kind of focus on that stuff. We can make it more about Superman. Hang on. Jed, my friend, you're in the back, and I need to find a good proper clip for you. So let's go silly for you.
It will help.
Hey, what's up? Hey, everybody.
Hey.
I saw you talking about Superman, and I can't resist talking about Superman. So Kate was like, "You need to go
Mm.
right now."
We looked at bad signal. We're like, Jed.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh no," and I was like, "I want to say something." She's like, "Go." Like, I was like, "Okay, yeah." So, I what you were saying? You know me. You've known me since we started YouTube.
Mm.
I love Superman. Superman is how that's how I started how to read and everything. And so But I there were things that I hated about the movie, and then there were things that I loved about the movie.
Okay, let's focus on that because
Yeah,
I feel like all weekend that's all that's been the focus, right? Is just
yeah,
all the nitpick stuff, the stuff we didn't like.
yeah, yeah.
For and plus we already kind of did a lot of that Friday.
Yeah, yeah, we did. Yeah.
Let's for a change of pace, let's hit on the stuff we loved.
Okay, so what I'm and I said this, and I haven't got to say it that much because everybody's drowning out with all the hate stuff, like you said.
Exactly.
There was golden age stuff. One point I'm gonna make, and you know what point I'm gonna make about the golden age right here. When he first started out, he wasn't powerful. Okay, Clark was not powerful. That's the reason why they said able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Faster than the speed, but his whole thing right there, he was not powerful enough. He was
Right.
like powerful enough to take on the gangsters and stuff, knock a few bullets off. But and if you go to the old cartoons, the Flesher cartoons, you can see him jumping, and he comes down like that. He couldn't fly yet.
Nope.
And that was the one thing I was like, I was going to say something about that, but I couldn't because we had a full panel, and I was like, dude, I want to talk about the Flesher cartoons. He wasn't at full power. He didn't get in full power until how many years? It was it was a long time, wasn't it?
It took a few decades to get up to that point
Yeah,
because they had to keep upping themselves. Like at one
yeah,
point, Superman's gonna pull all the solar system.
yeah. And one thing I agree with Tom about this, and Tom said this, like I love the original Superman movie, but like he said, that in a Man of Steel made him look like a god when he's not really a god. And you know,
And that's always one of those unfortunate things, right?
yeah,
Because there's been so much efforts to really kind of play to focus on this stuff too much. Like
yeah,
so many people want to do the Jesus comparisons. So many
yeah,
people want to do this or that. That it gets old hat. It's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
in a lot of ways what I feel like with what if Superman was evil?
Yeah, yeah. And what I appreciate about this movie is you saw. I know a lot of people. Oh, he's strong. No, he has vulnerabilities just like everybody else, and I appreciated that. Magic, kryptonite, no getting red suns, no getting any of the sun. And I found that scene where they strapped him down to be realistic because that's actually in some of the comics,
Hmm.
that's what happened. He had a crush his ribs were crushed. He had a crushed lung. Like, how would you feel if you got strapped into it and had to have full on like sunlight to heal you and you had your lung was gone. You saw that. One lung was gone, the other one was like messed up. He had crushed ribs and everything. When you're healing, cuz he heals automatically from the sun, you're going to feel something about that in there. Am I right, Iron? Like you're going to feel that how them to go. It just you feel from the bone to be uncrushed to like becoming crushed back. You
Right.
know.
Let's see. On top of that, of course, everyone's talked about the Justice Gang. There's been a lot of
Yeah.
praise there.
Okay. So up there, and I said this, and a lot of people thought I was crazy. If you go back if you have screenshots, they have the just JSA members up on the wall. They have Wildcat. They have all of them. They have them up on the wall. So he knew. I'm going to say this. Gunn did fuck up to a point, but he knew what he was doing. For the Eagle Eye fans, because I went with Culture and I kept whispering to Culture, and he's like, "I just saw JSA people up on the wall in the Hall of Justice." So my thing is, they inherited the Hall of Justice from the JSA. I think
Right.
you know.
Well, at the same time, though, we also want to make sure we don't kind of overemphasize this stuff. I think it's too easy to read too deep into a lot of it because
Well, that I only this when I see something, I'm like, okay, that's not. that wasn't just an accident.
You're
You know.
latch onto those things because you're more of a you're more of a DC guy than I was. So
Yeah,
there'll be a lot of
I'm a
little
huge
things there I won't
yeah,
necessarily know. Like
yeah.
the extent for me of that for me is like I recognize Maxwell Lord. I'm like, oh, isn't
Hmm.
he one of the? Doesn't he become a prominent villain that Wonder Woman has to
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
snap the
and
neck of?
he, yeah, snaps his neck. So it was just, I was happy to see this, and there are like, okay, so in the movie, putting positive things out, like you said, you had
Yep.
golden age material, you had silver age material, you had material from the 80s and 90s, all in that movie. Okay, and then you had a little bit of the 2000s, the good stuff, not that crappy stuff. All Star Superman, decent Superman stuff.
But
That was
also
yep, yeah,
we're likely to ultimately see little elements of the new 52 kind of brought into it, which
yeah.
I know
Yeah,
Clobby would call it, of course, Clobby would always call it the Screw 52, but
and I would call it the Pooh 52, and then like, yeah. So
it does have its fans, and
yeah,
particularly if
yeah.
you want to talk about Batman, but that's wasn't here in this movie. Uh,
Well, okay, there was several references to him in the movie. Um, that part where the building comes down and you go through and stuff. Um, when they have a tunnel, it said Gotham City, where all the cars were escaping to. Um, then they also made a reference to him about um a certain bat, and you're like, do we need to call a certain bat? Or and then they people just blew it off. Like, so
well, yeah,
they're yeah.
it's the obvious jokes they gotta work in.
Yeah, yeah, and I appreciate that. Like,
Mhm.
so, and I saw like Ron Troop that gets together with Kat later on. That was the '90s version of him. That wasn't the modern day, and that wasn't the '80s version. That was the '90s version, and I appreciate that because they took a little bit from the '90s, the '80s, the Silver Age, and the Golden Age. You could see it sprinkled. It was like that's the reason why the people that aren't jaded and aren't focusing on the negative, I'm not saying everybody that loves comic, but there's some people that are jaded. We saw this and we were like, this is cool. He's actually doing this, you know? And I just, like you said, I don't want to talk about the bad shit. I was excited because I saw elements of all that in there, Iron. It was
But
awesome.
but but Jed, I think you're missing the important thing here. Like I think you're forgetting, of course, that you got to try and play both sides of the field on this.
Yeah.
You got to be Mark Hearn.
Yeah. Let me see
Uh,
that. I trust Flash. Superman is good. Superman is great. No, well, the immigrant thing is BS. I
uh,
like.
wait.
Okay, so was Flash being sarcastic, or was he? It's because we don't know sometimes now.
Well, that was also from the 8th, so that was from about a week ago.
Okay.
However, go down and what's the following post?
I trust neurotic Superman is. Oh, okay. Grums is trolling. Oh yeah, he's trolling. He's
Is he,
trolling.
or is he trying to play the system?
He's playing the system. Grums always plays the system, dude. You
Well,
know. So.
well, real quick. Let me. Speaking of people who play,
Hmm.
we got someone in the back to bring in. So,
Yeah.
guys, without further ado, we have we have one more player for our little party.
Lynn is alone with the grimoire.
I stab it! Wait! I backstab it!
Good call.
You can't backstab it. You can't sneak attack an inanimate object.
Why not? It's prone.
It doesn't have a discernible anatomy.
It's got a spine, doesn't it?
Hey, I can't seem to hear any. I can't hear anyone though. Unfortunately, I don't know why I can't hear anyone. It's just completely. Maybe I'll just check my mic settings. I'm going to check the mic settings. Test input
Test.
output.
But maybe it just kind of
Here we
reset
go.
itself.
Hey, I got it. I
Hey,
can hear you
Dash.
now. Yep,
Put
You're
up the minute fingers that so you can see it.
Yeah, there's
1,
10.
2.
There's 10. So, how you guys doing? You guys were talking about Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of a little bit of positives out of it because it's been nitpicked to death, and I feel like sort of the last little bit of meat of that bone is let's
It's
talk
gone.
about the stuff we did
It's
enjoy.
gone. It's gone.
Oh yeah, so I have yet to see it yet. I might don't know if I'll see it, like, just with tickets are so expensive these days.
Right.
I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I would say at the end of the day, and again, we're gonna avoid any sort of spoiler stuff here because just for
Yeah,
for your
that's the reason
benefit.
why I didn't do any major spoiler stuff. I was just talking about minor
It's
things that I saw. And so.
I would say it's worth seeing because
Yeah.
it's at the end of the day, it is Superman, and
Yeah,
this is a pretty decent representation of the character.
it's Golden Age, Silver Age, 80s and 90s Superman with a little bit of All-Star Superman all rolled into one, dude. It's
nice.
It's
Nice.
decent.
Yeah, that's what I gathered when I heard Yellow Flash's like early sentiments when he saw the early previews last Tuesday.
Yeah,
I think it was something only like Amazon Prime members in select theaters could go see the movie.
Yeah, me and Culture went on Thursday afternoon. So that's when we got to go to see it. So, and then me and Culture were like, the first thing I said to Culture before I was like, please let this be good. And Culture goes, I hope so too. Like, we were sweating a little bit. That, like I said, and I said this everywhere, and I've been consistent. That okay, when you go into the theater, that first 5 to 10 minutes is very important. Don't miss that. That sets up the rest of the movie. But after you get out of that first half hour, smooth sailing. You're off to the races. It's just that first half hour of the movie is a little bit of a grind, and you're like, I don't know, man, and then after that you're like, it's off the races. We're good. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to take a little bit of time to set up
yeah.
everything else that precedes it.
Okay, so a little longer setup than what's normal, but
yeah,
it seems like it still works.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And plus there's ultimately there's worse. I mean, Marvel still makes movies.
yeah. Yeah, they do.
True.
But guys, I got breaking news for you guys.
What's the breaking news? The law is in town now.
Yeah.
Punk law.
Punk
What's up,
law
brother?
is in town. Yeah.
How you doing, Punkwaddle?
Pretty good. The one thing that, when I think about Superman, especially and all this stuff, and I haven't watched the movie yet, is I want a version of that Lex Luthor green and purple mech suit that he gets, and granted, mine probably wouldn't be green because I'm not powered by kryptonite or anything, but that's some seriously cool stuff.
I
like the mech suit too.
Yeah, I think they're gonna put it in the next movie. Like, you're gonna see that green and purple because Gunn, like I said, he sprinkled Golden Age, Silver Age, 80s, 90s, and a little bit of 2000. He's gonna put that in there at some point because he even made a comment that one of my favorite suits that Lex or things that Lex had was that green and purple suit from like Superpowers in the 80s and all that stuff, 70s, 80s and stuff. So we're probably going to see that at some point. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. I agree with you on that.
So guys, I figured first I was kind of looking around. I'm like, hey, there's kind of not much to talk about this weekend other than like the Superman stuff. But well, our boys over at Bounty Mid Comics, they kind of did help us out a little bit, and they did at least collect one story from this weekend, and well, from our little wheelhouse of our absolute adoration of some big robots. So
There were a couple things I remember them
Oh,
posting. but, yeah.
there's Common Rider. They came out with a new preview for the Common Rider. It's out there.
But
we talked.
Anyway.
I believe we talked about the Kamen Rider thing last week. How
they came out with another new one a few days ago.
Well, I guess to touch on that real quick. Yeah, so every fall will be a new Kamen Rider series. It's been that way for the last like 20 years roughly. And the current ongoing one is almost at an end. Kamen Rider Gav, which kind of based on sugary candies and gummy snacks. It's actually a pretty good series. There's a little bit of that body horror to it. I've recommended it to a few people. Like I know I said I was telling you to check it out, Jed.
Yeah. I'm because I forgot and didn't watch the last 6 episodes of the last one, so that's what I've been going through.
Well, the thing is, life sort of gets that way, and ultimately, you might fall off. Maybe you decide, hey, this season's for me. Maybe I'll come back and catch up on a bunch. But the next series, Kamen Rider Zetez, there's a couple Z's and a T. They decide apparently they decided they didn't want any single vowels in this name. Is coming this fall, and we are getting some updates on international distribution. So there will be news to come on that.
Yeah, and it said it's going to be in the U.S. So I wonder who's going to pick up the rights to that.
Well, considering that we've had a couple of the other projects through Amazon, I'm inclined to believe this might be an Amazon show, which not ideal. But
what if it was Tubi that picked it up?
I don't know if they do that stuff.
I don't know, but Tubi has a bunch of Kamen Rider stuff on there. Just saying.
Well, they do, but a lot of that's also because that's through Shout Factory.
Yeah. And that's backdated stuff.
And Shout Factory doesn't really do a lot of ongoing shows, which is why I'm sort of inclined to believe Amazon might want to pick that up because it seems like Kamen Rider is getting more and more attention. Just like, oh god, there was a story I saw. Do I still have this up? Oh yes, actually, let's go ahead and look at this real quick.
Sweet. I know we just derailed from bounding into the comics, but
yeah, we always do that.
I'm sure they'll be getting to the punch on this one in no time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just Spencer over there, but I know he likes the big robots and stuff too, and talked with him a little bit about some of the Gundam and Gunpla stuff.
Yeah, I tag him a little bit of like Kamen Rider stuff every now and then. Because I think his name isn't like Kamen Rider Kabuto.
Yeah, I think some of his icons are.
Anyway, so
yeah,
Netflix says 50% of global users now watch anime.
So what if Netflix gets it?
Well, and that's the.
Yeah, that's the. And then if it doesn't do well, that means that.
Well, I support anyone poaching any anime from Crunchyroll.
Oh yeah,
that's true. Sorry, this goes into the thing. I know I'm kind of deviating a little bit, but around the time this article came out, there was also talk of, I forget which anime it is that Netflix did pick up, but they're waiting till September to release all of them all at once in the binge model instead of episodically. And it's one, I forget the name of it, but it's one a lot of people were anticipating. So a lot of people mad at Netflix because by the time it's done airing, all the hype's over. That's when people on Netflix will be able to watch it.
Dude, they put a live action anime on Netflix that was an anime called Bet. They did it justice, and me and Kate both watched that together. So she loved it, I loved it. So,
but did Snacks love it?
Snacks,
I don't know.
Oh wait.
Not as much as Jed, man. He loved it in a weird way.
Wait, how rude of me. Of course, we all know what Snacks loves.
So you guys, my roast is ruined.
These are my friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Netflix doubled down on its global anime strategy over the weekend, unveiling a slate of new titles and fresh footage during a showcase at the Anime Expo in LA. The company also shared updated viewership data, highlighting just how far the Japanese anime has come and in expanding from its former niche to a powerhouse global content category. And this is kind of why I think we're seeing in part this push with Kamen Rider, because it is somewhat related to that. Because at the end of the day, everyone, for the longest time there, everyone was always trying to find the next big Power Rangers in the U.S. They licensed out Kamen Rider, they licensed out Metal Heroes, they licensed out a few of the other ones. So we got like Big Bad Beetleborgs, and so many other
Beetleborgs. Yeah.
Well,
Shame that it never got finished.
Yeah.
This also goes in light of the article that I think it was Spencer that put out earlier this year about, and we talked about on this show about a few months ago in the spring, about how Toei Animation and all that stuff, including Kamen Rider, are really trying to figure out how to market to the global audience because of the two-prong. Well, no, what it is the Japanese, that they're not getting enough. Just marketing only, and it's more distribution, right? Getting it out there, because the amount of children that Japanese aren't having, there isn't enough for a Japanese centric focused on Japanese market. They're not making enough money to do it, so they need to figure out how to expand it and have some sort of global market just to sustain and continue what they're doing. And I get that there's the gatekeeping, and I get there's, you don't want them to change for Western audiences, and I'm not sure that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But that is a problem there, because you got to realize these like a lot of these special effects shows like Kamen Rider, like Super Sentai, Power Rangers, etc., are expensive. I read somewhere that Super Sentai, I think about a year or two ago, was costing about roughly on par with about $1 million an episode, or maybe it was 1,000,000 yen. Either way, it was one of those big numbers. It's still kind of like,
I don't know.
oh, we are going all out on this. And at the end of the day, like, you're absolutely right there, Punk. They don't have they're not having the children that can justify what is ultimately a giant advertisement to sell, plastic play belts.
That's because all the dudes are banging robots now over there. So,
Wow.
Well, before long here, it's going to be everyone's going to be banging their phone because Elon just unveiled that whole Grok.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, Grok 4 can make anime girls now, apparently,
Yeah.
but you have to pay $29 a month to get your waifu.
Nope. I got my waifu already, so
No, that's called a real woman. It's different.
Yes, I know. But
look, waifu pillows are not $29 a month. They might be $29 a one-time fee.
So Stacks, with all this going on, how confident are you feeling about the future with just how massive all the anime is getting?
What's that? All the fast the anime is getting?
Yeah, how it's. I mean, like this is saying here, more than half of Netflix members are watching anime. Now, the thing is that members could mean accounts or the individual users.
I was thinking about that.
So members and accounts are virtually the same thing, if not literally the same thing. In some degrees, it is literally the same thing. Some people might have multiple accounts, but would they have to pay more for that? I don't know. But that's on Netflix, right? And I used to watch anime on Netflix, so it's nothing new for Netflix to have anime.
Every once in a while, they have something decent up there. So
every once in a while, they have some decent exclusives too, or originals.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead. So that's yeah. And I'm not watching Netflix anymore. I don't have an account, but if I did, I would watch Netflix. I'd probably add to the 50% that did watch it.
If there's something that isn't on Crunchyroll and it's a Netflix and it's decent, me and Kay watch that on Netflix. So.
Well,
yeah.
Here's the
Crunchyroll.
I have one question, Ironcaster.
Few that I have.
And
What's up?
So it says it's just that 50% of the members are watching. Is that like where Amazon says they watched an episode or 5 minutes of an episode, or does it give the percentage of how much of Netflix bandwidth is being taken up by anime?
Yeah.
No, it didn't clarify, but considering they're talking about the justification for this big massive push, I am kind of inclined to mean that they generally mean people are watching shows, not we're
Okay.
tracking the minutes you watch something, and if you
That's a
if
good.
you
That's a
watch
good
30
point.
seconds.
And
Because
but
if you
without-
watch like one
Okay.
Miyazaki film, but you don't watch any other anime, I mean, technically, yes, you watched anime,
Yeah, it's
but you're not an anime watcher. You
and,
know.
and it's just one of those things. Are they doing this to inflate or conflate their own sort of standing in justifying why people should get Netflix to watch the anime, or are they saying that they're already a giant powerhouse and it justifies what they're doing? Like, I'm just saying, without certain numbers, it might be a moot point, but
It's-
with all the
Punkwaddle's just
shady
asking
things,
questions.
Well,
in the training words,
the thing is, it's ultimately part of them kind of marketing, saying, "Look, we've been putting a lot of money and effort into acquiring anime for our service, and it's paying off in dividends."
yeah.
Okay.
That's So.
Yeah, they're just saying like, "Look, here's the proof of all this that we've spent." So
it's a good investment. So okay,
Exactly.
Yeah, they're making an investment. In Vince,
Okay.
yes, Kay does know. So So.
that she's a waifu.
Yeah. She already knows. She already knows that. So.
Okay.
She said
Uh-huh.
that. She's like,
So-
Is she real?
Yeah, she is.
Is she really real?
Yeah, she's real.
And the invisible
Iron,
girl.
Iron
Is
is
she?
actually.
Is she trapped behind
Iron-
the screen like you
No,
are?
Iron's actually seen her and talked to her for real.
Ironcaster's
Like-
trapped behind the screen.
Oi,
let
oi.
me out.
No, you can't. You won't be able to go over there. Like.
So I was looking around the internet a little bit today, and Vince, I saw this. I thought of you when this kind of popped up on my feed. Crash and Burn is a sci-fi thriller about a people trapped in a remote TV station fighting to survive against a killer robot in a post-apocalyptic world.
That looks cool, bro. That looks awesome.
That looks like 1989, like action thriller.
Oh, yeah.
Sci-fi.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
I would watch that.
like
Stop motion, claymation, and robot versus
No, we can't.
People. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Now,
Has he
now
seen
I
it?
want to do something like that, but with the puppets.
that would be like, you say, hey man, you know.
Yeah, the premise sounds almost like Maximum Overdrive, but less boring.
It also there's another one like that. What comes to mind? It's like Chopping Mall that you had a bunch of robots.
Dude, Chopping
acting-
Mall is legendary. Okay.
Shopping mall.
So Chopping Mall is
schlock. I see.
so Chopping Mall took the premise of they took a bunch the mall invested in a bunch of like advanced robotic security, but it's a bunch of like military tech that goes haywire and starts just murdering people inside the mall. After a bunch of teenagers decide to like hang out.
Is that the one where it murders the kids that stay after hours? Or is that a different one?
There's another movie like that though too. So
Oh shit.
he
It
is.
really wouldn't surprise me.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah, he's muted. Ironcaster.
Oh, am I?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Now
no,
we can hear you.
You're good now. You're good now. Oh.
That was
Yeah,
weird.
it's kind of like a thrasher, a slasher, I should say. The robot security robot. They like kids are like staying after like their extra like curricular work and whatnot to like watch like a movie, smoke weed and eat some mall snacks.
You know.
And then like the robot security thing, like something goes haywire and just starts murdering all the kids.
You're banging the sports department, and then it comes in and just slaughters. I mean, like
Yeah,
bats
pretty
and
much.
everything. Yeah.
I think that's the one. Maybe I don't know.
A guy
I
gets
mean,
electrocuted.
I mean that in the late 80s, early 90s, we had, robots going in the mall, and then a few years later we got mall rats, so I guess the malls became a little bit tamer for the
Yeah,
social.
they did become a little bit tamer. So.
I like to see mall rats, but with the freaking murder slashing robot in there too.
Yeah, I want to see what
That would be
An actual
hilarious.
That would
What's-
actually improve.
And they'd be like, "I'm not high enough for this, man."
yeah, Jay Silent Bob and the guy who played Earl.
Yeah, this is my water cup. Coke, no ice.
That was weird.
Yeah, I know.
What were you gonna say about Boundary in Comics 20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So let's get back to
Anyhow.
that, because Power Rangers Comics did have a little video. Did have an article out, and it's really to one of our favorite subjects around here in the Mechpit chat, and that would be Gundams.
Yeah.
Gundams are awesome.
So, as with Gundam, there's always constant talk about space and going up there, doing all that, etc.
Yeah.
And Tomino himself has come out and talked about how he doesn't think we're going to necessarily be going to space.
I actually agree on this because I don't think we have the imagination to get everything to work to get up there, because it's going to take a lot. And
It was going to require a lot of resources, and the urge to give up is going to be big. Like we don't all have like these Elon Musk style egos to like try and push. Like, he wants to go to Mars really badly.
yeah,
And like, there's not enough people like that want to go to Mars, even though it's probably essential for the survival of the human race.
yeah.
I mean,
Not right now.
Maybe not right now, but
500 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Matt Damon did it in a movie.
Yep, he scienced the shit out of it.
He did.
Well-
He's like,
Well, no, the guy
my
who
God.
wrote the book actually scienced the shit out of it because he actually knew what he was talking about, and everybody was impressed.
in Matt
Punkwaddle.
Damon, MacGyver.
How dare you? Matt Damon is a well-accomplished scientist, okay?
You're right. He incepted
Matt
all of us to
Damon.
believe. I mean, he interstellar.
I've
all
I've
of us
seen
to
Good Will
believe.
Hunting, okay?
You like apples?
Dude, it was MacGyver on Mars, basically. That's
Yeah, a
all
lot
it
of
was.
Real quick,
chewing gum
I want
and
to give a
potatoes.
shout out and a big thank you to Aris over on the Kick. Just to remind everyone that we are indeed live over on kick.com
Oh, cool.
/Ironcaster, where you too can you send some gift subs out, and between you and me, I actually could probably use it to help offset some repairs. Like I got a broken window here at the house I gotta get fixed up.
Oh.
Yay.
Oh dear.
It's gonna keep me busy. It's that time of year where apparently everything's falling apart. But
I heard
It's summer. Everything falls apart in the summer, dude. Like,
yeah, but I just spent like a work bonus, so
Mm.
it's gonna be tight, but I'll make it work. But
Yeah.
regardless, let's get into this because despite his seminal mecha series being arguably one of the biggest contributions to its adaptation to the public consciousness, Mobile Suit Gundam creator Yoshiyuki Tomino not only vehemently disagrees with the idea that humanity will someday colonize Mars, but also believes that those who genuinely believe we will are completely ignorant of the realities of interstellar migration.
I agree with that. So right there. So
It is going to be an insane endeavor just from the amount of time. It's like, because they say it takes like what, 8 months.
Yeah.
It's big,
Yeah.
it's bold, and it's ambitious, but the reality is humans are prone to human error, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not like
Even
if,
in the Gundam universe,
Mhm.
like the farthest colonies are like still within like the grander freaking sphere of Earth. Still
Which
within Earth.
timeline are you talking about? Because
I like the main UC universe.
okay, 'Cause
Like
I
the
mean,
farther colonies, like
Yeah.
they're they're a good distance away, and don't get me wrong, they're farther away from the moon, Earth from the moon, but
Right.
they're like going to Jupiter was insane, like long distance, freaking like that was an adventure, like the man from Jupiter, like
Yeah.
like that
'Cause-
was quite the endeavor just to get freaking helium-3. So like Mars is
I mean,
like
we
taking
have
like the Oregon Trail, except
we
for
have
Yeah.
more
well,
dysentery.
I,
Yeah, you're
I
gonna need this.
Iron-Blooded Orphans is based in Mars, and half the show is them going back and forth from Mars to Earth, and those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And you can't get back sometimes. You're stuck there until somebody else gets there. So
Yeah, yeah, or I haven't seen that in a while, but you're right. He was on Mars, right?
But that's why I was
the
asking what timeline, because
the
they
war
definitely.
orphans, yeah. But like even yeah.
I know what you mean. But like they
But
built that in to be a long journey, and that's
Yeah, all the space colonies are like all the space noids. They're still close to the Earth,
right. They're in
within
satellites.
reason, right? In the grander scale of the Milky Way.
I mean, some of them have elevators. It's fine.
and here's another thing: if you're on Mars, you got to do constant maintenance to make sure everything's up to spec.
Well, right.
Guys-
You're not gonna have a regular atmosphere, so everything's gonna be incredibly hostile.
Yeah.
You have to be constantly firing supplies at Mars, like on the daily, to be able to make sure you can maintain it.
But guys, the biggest issue that we haven't talked about going to Mars, and like Ironcaster said, there's a lot of things that are going to have to be shipped out. But what happens when you have a total recall?
We have to get our ass to Mars.
Like,
grab 2 boobs and you suck on the third one.
Yeah, you're like.
Okay. If I have a little psychic kid attached to my belly or my back,
Quaid.
This is. I think we all realized that was just us training and learning how to prepare to use the 3 seashells.
No, that's terrible.
That's a different movie.
No, we
that
don't.
one has no space travel.
We don't want.
Don't destroy
three
the
boobs,
image of
3
Gundam
seashells.
or demolish.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you go eat your rat burger there, Ironcaster?
Yeah, I want to go to Taco Bell.
He would eat a rat burger, by the way.
This is good.
This is good. This is good.
All Total Recall. What a strange
So
movie.
Tomino recently said, quote, "The people cheerfully talk about migrating to Mars don't understand how harsh space really is," said Tomino per a recap of his talk provided by a Japanese news outlet, Sankei Shimbun. They lack the ability to even imagine the distance between Earth and space, which we were just talking about. If you send a rocket to Mars, how will you refuel it for the return trip? And that's a challenge right there, because we're still figuring out how to. We're still kind of figuring this all out. I mean, we're just kind of barely scratching the surface of recycling rockets, but that doesn't mean we can necessarily use them from Mars. I mean,
and then the one thing Elon said is he wants within the next 2 to 3 years start putting people. I'm like, no, bro, that's way.
Like, you need infrastructure. You need something, like you said. If you're going to jettison people to Mars, you need fuel, and you need to be able to make sure that you can maintain equipment to get back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Mars has any like resources on the surface. It might, because like surveying like Mars is fairly limited extent, to the extent that Earth is. Like we barely even sniffed at Mars. And even if it did have like resources, it would take beyond measurements of freaking like resources to like procure more resources from Earth, from the Mars.
And even if Mars has with Gundam, it's always historically been years and years after we've already dealt with all this space shit. I mean, the Universal Century is literally after all that was solved. It was his stuff has never been about getting that all worked up.
Right.
Yeah. There's also the terraforming aspect of this. I do believe it's very much possible to terraform Mars, but like, like there's also like, the conditions of like, it seems like Mars is only like a little bit like slightly off axis of supporting life.
Yeah, I agree with that. But you got to
Like-
make sure you get the right thing right, or you can make it worse too.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bases on the moon, like Luna and Luna 2, those bases are like essentially like giant freaking like space station slash like space colonies attached to the freaking moon, you know.
And
And
wait till you find out that the aliens from Alien are on Mars and they start taking people out, and then you bring a dude that gets him penetrated with an alien, he brings him back to Earth, and so,
I mean,
And so I do think it's kind of interesting with Gundam in particular how there's been several attempts over the years to try to find ways around these problems that have existed. As they kind of get into here, they talk about, for example, the elevators, which is something that we've theoretically talked about. In real world physics has been talked about, but the problem is at a certain distance, like you don't have anything that could have the tensile strength to be able to support a uh, you know, going up into orbit like that. Eventually, it would just collapse under its own weight.
yeah, it would.
Yeah.
We've seen it a few times with some of the things we put up there. So
yeah, we would need something that would like that will hold its own weight to the point where like it just like passes the gravity point, and then it would have to be like big on and somewhat supporting, so it would crunch in, but there would be a certain crunch point where it wouldn't be too bad. But
then you'd also, if they're far enough out, need their own thrusters to keep up with the momentum, because they would just literally snap under the Earth's spin and all that stuff. And
yeah, it would be going like depending on how far you would take it freaking up, it might go like speeds of like Mach like 0.4 or something like that.
and here's the thing, they said they're gonna get rid of the International Space Station within a few years now. So we
Oh.
need to have another space station up there that is a base in space.
is that just getting dilapidated, that they need to just put something new up there?
It's getting old, and they're having to fix it all the time.
So just launch it off into the ether and build a new one like we do.
So
Mhm.
so they're gonna get rid of it.
That's the trick there, because so much of that is just completely outdated tech.
Oh,
If
it's
anything-
completely outdated.
Well,
tech.
and this also says, in the idea of going to Mars, that by the time you send stuff out and it get established, it's like, in Texas, whether it's Houston, Dallas, or Austin, as soon as they're done with a 10-year-long highway expansion, right, all the construction is finally cleared, they're like, well, the city's grown exponentially, and we need to widen the roads again. So as soon as you have like 2 weeks of it looks beautiful, another chunk is about being chopped up and added to. Of course, in Houston, it's the same company that has like 50 people that they just keep going around to all the different projects and just making sure that they don't, they finish on time, but they don't finish anything else in a timely fashion. So the city is just under construction. But I digress.
They always seem to come in right on budget, or vastly
right on,
over.
Yeah.
It cost how much? At zero.
They always outbid everybody else, or they have connections.
What's another sandwich break when you're on construction?
Allegedly, I don't know all the backroom dealings or all the connections. I'm just, saying. I'm not an expert on construction.
So, guys, let me ask you: have you guys been playing the big hit game that's causing waves?
Wait! The horse game?
The horse game.
That
guy.
I was thinking about it.
I hear Tectone and some of the other big gacha people are getting into it.
Iron Mouse is even started to play it now. She loves the game.
So it's just gonna, it's
Yeah.
gonna go viral, and
I have started watching the show, and I love the freaking show. It is the cutest freaking sports anime.
Their
It's a
phones are
proper
like
sports
from
anime
right
too.
here
It's
to
great.
right here. They're
Okay.
huge.
It
She
is it is
busts
it is
up.
crazy how popular this game has gotten over the last like what 2 weeks, if that.
well, I
It
mean,
just
it didn't have a local in Japan. It just got its global release, but it's been out for a minute, right?
Yeah.
to my understanding, it's been out for like 4 years, so there's
So
plenty of
it's
backup
been out
content.
since like
Oh.
since the anime started, so like 2018.
Yeah, it's
something?
been out
Okay,
for a while.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying is all the people who are getting excited have all this backdated
Yes.
content.
Yeah.
So it's
So-
not just launching a new one and seeing if it goes anywhere.
Yeah.
That's-
So the
okay.
the anime launched it as the game launched as well,
Okay.
and then it just it just kept on because the anime was pretty much a promotional for the game, the gotcha game, and
Okay.
that's kind of like the whole like um essentially the money freaking thing for I'm sure there's a manga for it too, so they can make money that way as well, I guess. But
See,
the
I
gotcha
need to,
elements are pretty much what they're trying to. They're cash cow, no pun
Oh, yeah.
intended.
I mean, the gotcha games, and I've talked about this plenty enough, are really becoming a viable source of entertainment. Gotcha
Yeah.
slash free to play season pass games, because they have to give you content that lands on delivery instead of all these games that are underdeveloped or say you need to buy it because we made it, right? They're actually
Yeah, I
competing
know you
for
like
your
the
attention.
Hololive, the Holoverse.
Yeah, Hoyoverse and all the other stuff.
Hoyoverse.
But like,
I have one of their
I
games, too.
I want to just admit this right now that I may have gone on the Amazon Prime and picked up a nice
Really?
hard drive addition to my PlayStation 5, because I don't have a tablet to play some of these games, but
Mhm.
the amount of space that these things take up, I mean, on your original PS5 hard drive, I mean,
Yup.
there's not enough room for all of them, so I had to go big so I can play everyone and start
they
them, and if I
keep
don't like
updating
them,
all the time, too.
I can go back and start again, because I don't want to lose my progress on some of them are just a waste of time. But if I'm gonna go all in, I need to go all in.
Now,
Dude,
I'm wondering what effect if Stop Killing Games does go through, what that's going to have on live service. Because one of the games I played, War of the Visions, Final Fantasy, the global shut down like fairly recently, and I had bought a bunch of stuff on that. The game's still running in Japan though.
Well,
But
you'll
that's what-
waste your money. Thanks for the money. No refund. Sorry,
What
kiddo.
What if you become like the guy from Overlord and you get stuck in one of the games as it shut
Well,
down?
Yeah, I think you just got Ironcaster's vote for that reference.
Yeah. He
Oh,
got
yeah.
me to watching it, so
Yeah,
There's been
I've
a couple other.
Remind me. I do need to pick up the audiobook. I've just been so busy lately. I'm so slow at reading.
But the audiobooks I think are well worth it, especially because you have the voice actor for Ainz reading
And
it.
he
so
is
it's just-
fantastic.
Oh, nice. If you have the voice actors from, okay, that's cool.
Oh yeah, especially him, because and it's funny. I didn't think he actually did his thought voice, and the Ainz voice. He does both voices.
yeah, and it's awesome. He's like, should I touch him? I don't know.
It's
Yes,
well,
you may touch him.
Of course.
the audiobooks are also kind of funny in that respect because you have him then having to then voice the other characters as well. Like,
Oh
he
yeah,
has
and
to-
his Albedo is freaking hysterical.
he has to try and play and fake a female voice to Albedo. It's like, well, yes, of course, Lord Ainz.
I found it hilarious when I was watching the first episode. So I was just like, and then I was like, wait a second. I texted Iron. I was like, wait, the translations are the same in English and Japanese. They didn't mess them up.
It's one of those few series I would say is worth your time just to kind of stick to that.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
Overlord thankfully came out at this proper time where like Funimation wasn't doing like the Jamie Markey dub
Oh
special.
yeah. Yeah, that's the reason why I said that to him, because I knew about that. So I was just like, yeah, I was like, and I said, he goes, just stick to the English.
Yeah, you know,
So, yeah.
even
That was-
like
That was
and
like
even now
2017, 2018.
and also I think even like since the merger, like like people, anime fans are like a hawk on them. So while a lot of the subs aren't perfect, I mean, like they just got caught like using Chat GPT
Yes.
for whatever.
Oh yeah, I saw
Yes.
that
I was
last
like,
week.
yeah, I was
Like-
laughing
Like,
about that. And
so
that's-
I guess to kind of hit on that real quick, there was you have translators that are literally using like Chat GPT or using Grok to just do all their translation work for them, and
Or,
in
or
one
literally
unfortunate-
Google Translate.
Yeah,
yeah, they had put in just like Grok's.
Did he freeze?
He
Yeah, I think he
froze.
froze.
Okay.
But
oh.
yeah,
This is what happens when you use Grok. It just doesn't work
Oh, you're
well.
talking bad
Yeah.
about Grok. And
You will get, even if you do Google, whatever it is, you'll get a rough translation, very rough. You'll miss a little bit of contents and all that stuff, and it's like phrasing and all that stuff. And a lot of them, they'll chalk it up. They're like, oh, but we're just westernizing it. It's a totally normal thing. This weird like phrase that they're saying, it doesn't work in English. And I'm
I
like,
hate how they westernize.
Yeah.
I'm like that will work at sometimes, but
Yeah.
what you do, and this has been done multiple times, unless you're like a brand new freaking chicken to anime, they will do the freaking translation in its most purest form, and then they'll have a caption above explaining the cultural freaking norm in the Japanese thing, right? You know, be like,
Yeah,
hey,
a bunch of manga do that.
yeah, a bunch of manga do that. Bunch of like
Okay.
mid 2000s mangas, I mean not mangas, anime have done that. They'll like say like, hey, happy like this day, you know, happy Golden Week. And like,
Yeah.
you know, England and freaking America, we don't have Golden Week. What the heck is
No.
Golden Week, you know? And Happy
Yeah.
Child's, you know,
It's
all this
Golden
crazy
Showers
stuff that
Week.
Or the
No, Jed.
the symbol on Neji's
I
head,
was joking.
which people
I know
can
it.
mistake for Funny Mustache Man's symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's a Hindu symbol. It's been a Hindu symbol forever.
Right.
Japanese and most like Asian people, they don't get like when they see
The thing, I don't know what it's called, but like the thing
yeah
that looks
the
like
pinwheel
the other thing.
pinwheel design,
Right.
that funny pinwheel design, they know
Right.
it as a Buddhist symbol because that's what it is.
It
Right.
is.
And then we're over here like,
by
I'm over here like, we don't care, Kraut. Your grandfather was an Asian.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's but it is like things that are, and I hate to, well, I do love to. So like the whole concept of quote normalizing things, there's so many things that are just like you said, part of the known culture over in Europe and Asia because they're on top of each other. Just and interact so much, and then we see something and people in the West just panic, freak out, and start, you know, it's like when the Asian, I don't know if it was Japanese or Korean, people were getting banned off Twitch and Kick because they were using words in their native language, but the sensors and filters and AI were picking it up as something else.
Oh yeah, that was the Apex Legends they were getting banned from.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
And it's been more than, yeah, but that's happened. It's like, no, I think we're the bigots here, right?
Oh yeah, that's always
Yeah,
the
there's-
most
there-
annoying
yeah, there's a good
part
question
because
on that.
you have time and time again all these attempts by these people who see every problem being one simple solution. So
Yep.
it falls into so many categories. A lot of people look to like a lot of say non-conforming gender expectations and tropes in Japanese media, and you will have the Western activists who will say this therefore must mean trans when there's actually a lot more nuance to it in their culture, in in these little subcultures
Yeah.
than what exists here.
Yeah, I have a follower who's a Otonoko from
Mhm.
Indonesia, who's been like really like trying to push back on these Westerners, trying to like just turn all the gender non-conforming stuff into trans.
Exactly, and
That's good. Yeah.
and the thing is, like, there's all the you have so many cases where it's I know not going to get replaced. So
Mhm.
It is definitely. I mean, go check out the rest of the